What's up, guys? It's your boy Lotuswaver, and here we are today to talk about how to recruit in college football 26 Dynasty. Let's go.
And being a recruiter is no longer as overpowered as it once was. If you go down the tactician pathway, there's a lot of upgrades that are going to make just ratings better on your team, and motivator is going to help with how quickly players progress. That is why, at least for now, I'm going to be going down the motivator pathway.
Okay, let's see.
Choose whatever you want, though. Have some fun with it. It adds to the replayability. Your playbook is very important, though. We're going to get back to this in a little bit. Through creating your coach this year, you can select a few extra things like the
Ooh, the demeanor and the stance. You could change the demeanor and the stance
as well. I want to be intense over on the sideline. I also found one of these
sheet. Ooh, play sheet. I mean, you probably can like cover your face with the play sheet. Oh yeah. Hands on knees, like, oh boy, this is some bullshit. Oh, this is gonna be dope.
Beginning, be prepared to lose like all these players. As you can see in the default settings, we're only going to lose up to 20 players in the portal this year, but so many of these guys are going to want to leave, especially if we don't have a good season. If you go through the roster, at first, a lot of these players are going to have a deal breaker, even though they're currently at that school. This is intended so players are going to transfer around like they would in real life, and that can be scary.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all. This dynasty is gonna be so nasty. It's gonna be so nasty. This is gonna be so nasty. Wait till we get to it.
Notice so far is accuracy tends to be pretty cheap, so I would focus on upgrading your quarterback's accuracy first. IQ will also get their overall to go up if you can increase their awareness for cheap. That's just something to keep in mind, but let's go ahead. We're going to set our schedule before we get into recruiting. I don't think there's much that's changed about this, but the game should at least generate the schedule, home and away game.
There's some new... Ooh, look at all these sucky teams. Oh my gosh. The FCS West Titans. The little fish guppies over there. You got the horse stallions up top. You got the rock-ons over there. You got the admirals over there. Alright, okay.
Game's a lot better than it did last year. As you can see as well, the Team Builder schools, you might notice a couple of these from Team Builder series this past year, including my Stallions. I feel like I had to throw them on there. I don't think we're going to be able to win many games with Ball State, even though this isn't looking like a hard schedule. I think it's worth it to see how this first game goes against Purdue. For their run out, I've already heard it multiple times. They just blast a train horn. That makes sense, though. They're the Boilermakers. It going off constantly was actually starting to drive me nuts. They've already scored 3. And so far, we haven't had the best first quarter, but we could have given up a lot more points as well, so I'm just going to take that. Here on a 3rd and goal, though, we could get them off of the field. I'm going to man up that guy, basically operate as a quarterback spy here in case they try and run. But look at that. We're solid. We're holding them to their 2nd field goal of the day. And the real question is going to be, can we score with Ball State? I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. On a 3rd and 10, open receiver, middle of the field, we're getting some progress. The real issue is I just can't move the ball consistently. We have a play or two where we do well, and then we end up not doing well. There's been a lot of missed throws like that. I mean, that shouldn't have been accurate in the first place. And I'm going to be honest, this one might get out of hand, but you all can't be upset at me. Because, for one, recruiting. The type of players that you're able to go after all ties back into your school grades. So with Ball State, where we're struggling with a lot of these school grades, we're most likely only going to be able to go after guys like 1 and 2 stars, maybe some 3 stars, but we can write off the 4 and 5 stars. Meanwhile, if you're a school like Alabama, you can basically go after every prospect in the country, but if they care about academic prestige, that's their deal breaker, then you won't be able to pursue them. That's why you'll notice if you sort for just 5 stars and you're a tiny school, there's only going to be a few that would even consider going to your program, and you're going to have a hard time landing them, basically, unless they want proximity to home or playing time. They're writing you off. Now, I do believe it's worth still taking a shot on a couple 4 stars, especially if they're...
Bro, so recruiting, what you need to know in recruiting, there are some... Oh, there we go. So, in recruiting, one thing that y'all do, y'all might not be aware of is when you're a low team, you want to aim for anything type players. The players that you can change into anything. Those you need to aim for 3-star. 3-star anything players will get you. You're gonna find at least 5 gems in there. If you go all anything players in your recruiting, that's what I like to do. All anything players. Maybe get you like 1 quarterback that you can believe in, 1 receiver you can believe in, maybe a few linemen that are just tall. You just need some tall ones, and then yeah, that's the method. I just wanted to let y'all know that.
near your school, so we're going to sort by pipelines. And in the state of Indiana, we've been able to find a few players that are going to be close by who also care about playing time, so we have a better chance at getting them to come here. Outside of that, though, what I'm going to recommend, the easiest way for you to start your dynasty, whether you're a big school or a small school, is search by minimum rating, 3 stars, and then look for players.
This is dope. This is something I don't think you were able to do. Search by player. You can literally get down to the position, player type, state, the height, the weight. This is what I used to have to look on the little side like, no, how tall? This is perfect. This is perfect. This is perfect.
That have interest inside the top 10. This should give you a list of guys that actually want to come to your school. And now we have to look over to that bottom right corner. If we think that we can give Chad Cutting a lot of playing time, then we should add him to our board, but we have to keep in mind, we don't give him that playing time, he's most likely going to transfer, and we don't want that. For example, I know our pro potential school grade's probably not going to stay at a C, especially the farther we get into Dynasty, so I'm not even going to go after this kid, because as he gets older, he's going to want a B grade, an A grade anyway. What I have found is if searching by deal breakers, the safest one is proximity to home, especially if you have a B grade or higher, because that's never going to change. Your school isn't going to pick up locations and go somewhere else. Now, finding players that care about it is definitely not easy, so you're also going to want to sort for new guys that care about stuff like playing time. This guy right here, we have an A+ grade for his playing time. We should have him on our team. What we really need to focus in on, though, and this is just going to go for looking for quarterbacks, you could say something like speed's going to be the same for halfbacks and receivers, is while we're scouting them, we have to look at throw power and speed, since those are the most.
And also, when you are scouting these type of things, and you don't have that many points because you are a small school, you want to search and you want to use maybe 2 and just look for the throwing power, and the speed of the quarterback and the throwing power are the 2 things that I go for. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you these are things that I go for. I do think that those are always going to be your telltale signs, but maybe not, because on this new one, if you look, the deep accuracy is a 74, but the throwing power is an 89. So, it's not the best, and the speed is a 70. That is dog water.
Most expensive to upgrade. You're going to be able to purchase accuracy really cheap, but like 83 throw power is going to take a lot longer to develop, while this guy already comes in with 89, so what we do is we just remove this guy off of our board. You might notice though, it's taking us 50 hours at a time just to fully scout somebody, and that's one of the negatives of not going down this recruiter tree. But the reason I'm not going down the recruiter tree is you have to become an elite recruiter if you want to be able to increase weekly hours for quarterbacks this year. The same goes for
if you want to increase weekly hours for quarterbacks, you have to be an elite recruiter. That's good. I did feel like it was too easy in the first game. I felt like it was way too easy. Like, man, I can make a perfect team first year. I just hope they made the playbooks where it's just not so easy, bro. I hope it's a little bit difficult, but I'm still gonna make my own playbook. Okay, what are we doing?
Every single position. It is tier 4 of elite recruiter, which to unlock this you have to sign 2 top 5 classes. So it just cost way too many coach points to put extra hours on players. And I'm not a huge fan of the benefits you would get by going down the recruiter pathway. So what I'm coordinator at the moment, we're going to be able to scout to be the recruiters, and then I'm going to focus in on motivator and then eventually tactician to boost our ratings. Inside motivator, for each position, if you can get to tier 3, you're going to be able to get an off-season training boost for all your players at that position. It's also good inside motivator.
Yeah, I was going to say motivator is very important because, yeah, like you were saying, you do get a boost in your training in the off season. It's one of the most important things. Like who doesn't want to, like the tier 3. If you look at tier 3, everyone says gets an off season training boost. That is very important to develop in your team, and I can't wait.
For each position, if you can get to tier 3, you're going to be able to get an off-season training boost for all your players at that position. It's also going to help you level up a lot quicker. I even want to go back to my Sam Houston file and point out that I wouldn't have been able to win it all with this team. I mean, we went undefeated and just finished the year inside the top 12 after not making it to the playoffs originally. And you can see school grades like our conference prestige are dragging us down. They've made it harder for you to take some of the smallest programs and turn them into natty contenders.
You can see your team needs. That is super important. Do you see the top? Yo, I was tired of always having to click the whatever and then or accidentally popping up my team needs. It's nice to just see it while you're recruiting. It keeps it fresh on your mind. You know, it's a lot you trying to get. You trying to book little Tim into for next week. We got some. We cooking hot dogs and taking him to go see the game. This other week, anyways, bro.
On our board, and we need to land him in order to fill that role. If you hit the right bumper, you're going to be able to go over to the team needs screen from last year as well. They've added one more column though that it's pretty useful. It's called potential transfers. So if you look over here, you can see how many guys at each position group are potentially going to transfer out because they're not happy, their deal breakers are not being met, and this is going to add up over time. You're just going to have to expect having turnover, especially as a small school if you don't plan on having much success.
So what he's saying is if you are losing, you are definitely going to lose your players because certain players, their deal breaker will absolutely be to not, if winning isn't a thing, I'm out. Winning. But yeah, this would be, or playtime, or, coaching prestige.
At first, and being able to find those guys that you can retain no matter what. This is simple. If you can learn from an example of using one of the worst schools in the game, then it's going to be very easy for you to apply this to whatever team you end up choosing for your first dynasty. I'm still really focusing in on trying to find guys with proximity to home. They're pretty rare, but if you can't find that, I would say that playing time's the next best one to offer. Just don't bring in too many players at that position. You also don't need to scroll down.
Very important. Do not overload positions. Do not overload positions when recruiting. You can definitely get backed up very fast, and it sucks. Trust me, it sucks. Yeah.
Down one by one to offer a scholarship to each player individually. If you want it to be a little bit quicker than
facts, that's another thing. Spam that hoe. X, get it off. And there's a tab also where it says any up top. You can just tab to who needs once you load up your board, you can hold L2, L2, and drop down to needs. It'll say needs scholarship, and you just spam it X. That's the quickest way to do it. There, everybody got their scholarship. It's going to cost you 5 points. You see how it says offer scholarship? It's going to only cost you 5. Get it off. Boom. Get them hoes off. Once you get them hoes off, once you get them hoes off, then, then you work your way to the scouting. In scouting, you just going to do one. Only do one on each person. If you got a low team with a little bit of points, only do one. Just do maybe one or two. If you're always on the quarterback, you want to max the points out. You want to scout. Maybe not max it out, but at least halfway. At least to see how fast they are and to see their throwing power. I think those are two important things.
Doing this. What you're going to do is you're going to sort by players that still need a scholarship, and
See?
from here you will just be able to spam it out. I wish they had a button to offer all players without doing it this way, but it is a little bit quicker. You don't have to hit that left stick. Now for your original board, a lot can change. What I've done is I've just thrown guys on there, especially cornerbacks, because I sense later in the year corners are a little bit harder to find, so I've put them on there. Offensive linemen as well, sometimes that can be hard to get, and we're just going to send it with a lot of these players. Now I have a speedster wide receiver I want to look into. I feel like this is still one of the better builds, but if this kid's a bust, he is 83 speed, he's getting removed. This contested specialist only is 83 speed as well, so he's not somebody that I really want. I still want to prove that you have a chance at landing 4 stars even with the smallest of schools though, maybe 5 stars if you're lucky with location, so we're going to focus in on Caleb Gideon. Not saying there aren't other ones you can have success with. If you have a good enough team, it really doesn't matter, but we're trying to optimize as much as we can. So one thing I've noticed is the 4-2-5 in sim plays pretty well. Another thing I've picked up on is the spread, the power spread, air raid, and then most importantly, veer and shoot tend to do very well too. What that means is even as a Kentucky fan, as much as I don't like Tennessee, and as much as I'm not a fan of running veer and shoot in game, I do want to run with that for at least this video just to see how we do. We are going to throw the ball a lot this year, and that's important to keep in mind for players that you're trying to retain based on playing style, and also for players that you're recruiting. For Kelly, it doesn't matter that much, and he's probably not going to do great in this system. He is 55 throw under pressure, but somebody like freshman Bodie Darer However, if we want him to stick around more, he cares about playing style here. We have to be able to throw for a lot. What I'm doing though by focusing on throwing the football is saying that Ashley can just transfer out. He cares about playing style, but we're not going to be able to retain him because he's not going to get enough carries or rushing yards this season. A couple of these wide receivers are going to be more likely to stick around though.
Well, look at that receiver at the bottom. That nigga is a 54 overall. Holy Toledo. And he's a sophomore. He got the nerve to be a sophomore in a 54? My little cousin is a 54 overall. And he ain't even in school yet. He ain't even in the high school. That's nuts. Holy.
And you can just see, if he's a 54 overall, you only need a D+ grade in playing style for them not to transfer out. It really varies based off of how old players are and what their overall is, because Magwood cares about playing style, but he needs a B-. Just as a tip, you should keep that in mind when upgrading players. If you focus on some of the stats that are going to boost their overall too quickly, they're going to demand a lot more out of you and most likely transfer. Becoming very clear to me is the farther we get in recruiting, there are some of these prospects that we're just not going to be able to land. I'd say the most important thing that you can focus on, the most important thing that you can learn is when to pull out. Even if we focused in on Sway, which is going to allow us to convince what Caleb actually cares about as his hard sells, it's not going to make that much of a difference because so many of those grades are negative. If I had to take a wild guess, what he currently cares about is proximity to home, conference prestige, and championship contender. 2 of those are negative, so we can't even hard sell him. The reason I know that is a player's deal breaker is one of their 3 main motivations that you can hard sell them on. Those give you bigger bonuses than sending the house if you didn't know. So if we continue to send the house, we're not going to be able to beat out Indiana. We can't hard sell or sway because these school grades are awful, and that's where you got to know when to pull out. We're just going to take the 4-star off of our board. As for these other 2 4-stars, we're going to continue to track them throughout the 24 Auburn. We're probably just going to continue to lose. I'm trying to hold your all's hand through the same pain I went through when I tried my first rebuild. You're just going to see so many guys entering the portal, especially if you're not having success. Again, if it's something that you don't like, you can wimp out. You can turn down how many players.
I'm not going to lie. The fact that they are going to have high turnover if you're losing it's just fun because I don't think I'm going to lose a lot. It's too easy. It's been too easy. So if it's a challenge, let's do it. Let's make it a real challenge. I'm with that. I'm not hating on that at all. Yeah, I think it's going to be very challenging as far as
are able to transfer maximum per team, or you can turn it up to 30 if you really want to make things challenging and interesting. This is why I'm so excited to do my first rebuild series in a little bit, but you can see we're gaining on Sean Carr. He would be an amazing middle linebacker for us to use, and we're also getting up to first place. You all have to remember that. Even though there were some misses with this game, especially on the road to glory side, I'm happy with what we've gotten. Did you see my coach in the celebration right there? We're dripped out. For these 2 3-stars as well that were on a visit this week, this should greatly help in getting. We're going to see if we can get him to care a little bit more about pro potential instead of coach stability. If this ends up going through, next week we're going to be able to hard sell on him. And just from the looks of it, Southern Miss is gaining on wide receiver Isaac Scruggs, who is a 3-star I'd like to have. There's not much we can do though besides just sitting back hoping for the best. We have signed our first commit, and from the looks of it, the sway ended up working, so we are now able to take this off and actually put a hard sell on Sean Carr. I'm really not sure if it was worth it for the week because our playing style dropped down to a D+. This pitch isn't great, but I'm hoping it's enough to beat out Indiana, especially in first place. We've been able to get a 5-star in this class, a former 5-star. I think he was the #1 recruit in the country. And what a class. I don't care if it's not ranked the best in our conference. You can see the max starting to actually come on the come up. It's still just such a great class. I don't know what we're going to do at the quarterback position now because he has 133 skill points. This is before training results. Are his skill cap about this roster? We might do more than make the playoffs. Like, just take a look at Joshua Carden at free safety. I didn't maximize his quickness because, again, I was maximizing overall for every position, so we really made sure that we got some of these other stats up. But skill caps are literally everything because there are some players where I had plenty of skill points laying around afterwards, like this 2-star, and I couldn't upgrade him any further. Another thing is if I was doing multiple seasons into the future, this type of strategy would not work because most of these players are probably going to train. There's just no way that they're going to want to stay at Ball State, but we have a 92 overall team, and I'm curious, last year, if you cut the lowest overall players, it increased your overall more, so I'm going to do it again. I'm in fully optimized for a rebuild mode. This is stuff that's into having the game, and I truly want you all to know how much fun I have had with this player progression. Been able to do is get this roster size down to 59. I wish I could get rid of some of these other lower overall players. We'll see if it changes our overall, and I have done it. They are going to kill me. We have a 99 overall team.
The 99. overall. He just showed you he made it a 99 overall.
Are going to kill me. We have a 99 overall team. And if the settings in your favor though, you're not going to be able to become a maxed out motivator as quick as I did. And honestly, who knows? There might be a patch or two based on some of the stuff I figured out in this video. But this is the schedule we're going up against. I'm simming. This is a great test of the sim engine. I'm just very curious, like how our roster stacks up against Ohio State, because they're a 97 overall.
Right.
So I want to see how our roster does. It's not like it's a guarantee that we're going to win the championship or anything, but I feel like we should be able to run through our schedule with this team. And now we're going to look what Ohio State has. It definitely seems like their team is worse, but they're still able to be up to a 97 overall with players like this. So what this lets me know is if I didn't save up all those skill points and then just max out player overalls, a lot of these players are going to either enter the portal or enter the draft. I definitely have an expectation for this season though. If we don't just go out and crush our whole schedule, I'm going to be pretty let down. We're going to go ahead and sim to week 15. I think that optimized sim playbooks. We optimized dynamic deal breakers. We optimized player progression. And we got up to a 99 overall team, but we lost by 3 points to Indiana, who finished the year 7-5. Now the rest of our schedule, we won. We finished the year number 8 in the country, so we are still in the playoffs. But what I'm wondering is if because I optimized all these players for overall and not their actual stats that they're going to be using in the game, if that's why we ended up losing one of these matches in sim, or it could just be the fact that Bryce Underwood threw 3 interceptions. I mean, we blew out all the teams that we should have blown out. Indiana had the most respectable roster on our schedule, but I will say I'm still a little bit surprised that we ended up losing. It happens though. It's college football. Whatever has happened in this video has been a